Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. There is Judas Priest and Hellion Electric Eye on Rock and Metal Revival. And, dude, the Judas Priest stuff never grows old.
No.
It never does. And
it always sounds fresh.
It does. And once again, we are fortunate enough to have the honor of... I tell you what, I've been listening to this guy's music for years and years and years. I want to welcome KK-Downing to Rock and Metal Revival. Welcome to the show, KK.
How you guys? Red, Jerry, how you doing, everybody?
It's great to have you on. We want to welcome you back to Rock and Metal Revival. It's been a while since we last spoke, so I'd like to start off talking to you about your book, which I love to read, the stories of one of my favorite bands. Was this book something you wanted to do for a while, KK? And how did it feel to share those stories with the fans?
Yeah, no, I never had any inspiration to do a book, guys, until, the year before last, and I was approached yet again, and I kind of looked at my watch and I thought, time is getting on here. How old am I? I think I need to do a book while I can still remember things, and and I'm still around to do it, because I thought it might be a good idea, because obviously lots of fans and people, know of me, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to try and give people an insight to me personally, to get to know me a little bit better, really. So I thought, what the hell? I'm not getting the phone call from the Priest guys to come and do anything. So I'm thinking I'll get on and do this, and it's a great opportunity to reach out and make contact with the fans.
Yeah, I definitely love the book, dude. You did a really great job as far as being an easy read. I've read some memoirs that are just so in detail that it gets a little bit too daunting to read. But this one was really good, and I had no idea you got to meet Hendrix and got to watch him do a sound check and stuff like that. That's pretty amazing.
I was there. I was that annoying fan that you can't get rid of, I'm afraid. So it was obviously treasured memories.
Yeah. Now, when you were watching him go through those effects pedals, when he picked out the pedals that he liked, did you think that he made a good choice?
Well, yeah, he had definitely better ears than me at the time, that's for sure. So he knew exactly what he was looking for.
KK, I want to talk to you about the musical event that you guys just had a couple of days ago, a week or so ago, an evening with David Ellefson and KK-Downing. How did this all come about, and what was it like to be with the Ripper again?
Well, David was coming to England just to play a show in London with his bass story band, which he does, I think, pretty much every year. And I think that we talked about, because I'm actually the kind of the ambassador of a great place in Wolverhampton, about 5 miles from Birmingham, called the Steel Mill, and it's a very kind of real full-on kind of metal vibe, for a gig. It's very cool. And we were talking, and I said, well, how about maybe doing a show there? And he said, yeah, well, will you? And he said, will you jump up and play a couple of songs with us? We do a couple of Priest songs, and his bass story band. And I said, well, okay. And then he says, well, yeah, if you do that, I'll bring Ripper over to sing. I went, well, we can't bring Ripper all the way over from Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, for a couple of songs.
Sing a couple of songs. I was like, I'm going to make a meal of this. I'm going to, let's do a show. And so I gave Les Binks, obviously a great drummer from the 70s, obviously Unleashed in the East, Stained Class, Killing Machine, that early stuff. And I'm thinking this is going to be really, really cool. and so it just grew and grew, and so we went on there, and it was fantastic to do the show and play those songs that we did. Not all of the songs are on YouTube, some of them, but we did. It was recorded quite professionally and filmed.
Oh, cool!
I haven't seen any of it yet. It was kind of a bit of a favour, really, pull some guys in to do it. But that's pretty good to watch the footage at some point, in the future.
Dude, yeah, you sounded great, man. I was really, really pleased with the way the whole thing sounded.
A lot of smiles on that stage.
Yeah. It was fantastic because it was a first night. I mean, I've never played with David Ellefson ever before, and he come into town 2 days before the show, and we had a rehearsal, and he was absolutely on the money with the songs, which was fantastic. I mean, and then Ripper came in the day before the show. So it was one of those. It was a bit kind of hairy, scary. But when we jumped on the stage there, we just went for it, really, and it was fantastic to be on the stage with guys that were giving 100%, and it was just a really, great feeling and enjoyable moment, and especially for me, I'm all about keeping it 100% real, with the fans and to involve the fans. It's good for us to feel as though we're a part of the audience, and it's good for the audience to feel that they're a part of the band, and that's the way I like to do it. I think far too many times now, lots of live performances can be a bit sterile, where the guys, lose that connection with the fans at a show, We all remember years ago playing the small little clubs, and the fans can actually touch you, touch your legs, your pedal board, your guitar, and all of that. But it was a great feeling to have that close contact, with the fans. So yeah, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
So you got the itch to do some more shows, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be on stage with, I'm going to be doing something for sure, guys.
Awesome.
In the new year. There's, that's a given, really, because, I think what I experienced the other night is, could not do that. It's seemingly more and more apparent now that the Priest guys are not going to involve me in anything. So, which is a bit sad in one way, but obviously, as long as I know, I can tell people what I know, because they're not telling people what their intentions are. But I'm glad that I'm able to tell people what my intentions are from now on. So that's good.
Well, KK, I wanted to go back a few years to the first time I saw Priest. And the album you were touring on was Unleashed in the East, and I saw you open up for Kiss on that tour. And the one song that struck me that night was the Green Manalishi. Now, for years, I didn't know that was a Fleetwood Mac cover. What is the story of picking out that song to be covered by Priest?
Yeah, well, I was always reluctant to do any covers at all, but inevitably in the 70s, the record company was one of those things, guys, you're a new band, nobody knows who you are, but if you do this song, it's been a big hit, it was successful, well, it certainly was in the UK, by known artists anyway, then radio DJs and people, they're more likely to give you a spin, because they know a lot of the audience know the song, and it'll go down pretty well. But so we did a few covers, and that song was one of them, and of course we kind of thought if we're going to do a cover, this is pretty awesome, because I think the Green Manalishi is supposed to be like one of the servants' little. One of the devil's little servants or something, the guy that, if the devil says, run out and get me a Big Mac, with cheese. A little green man on his shield jump up and go and run, down the street and get it, that type of thing. So I think this is pretty cool, because obviously Peter Green, they were a great blues band back in the day with great credentials, playing with John Mayall's Blues Breakers and stuff like that. So it was bona fide. So we did our version of it, and then quite rightly, as you said, so many people, it's probably like Diamonds and Rush, when we did the rock version of that, everybody thinks it's our song. And but I'm glad and proud to keep playing that song. I love it, and it stayed with us, and it's a good moment in the set.
Yeah, you guys made it your own. Now, when I first saw you guys, I saw you in '79 opening for Kiss in Madison, and I was just an impressionable young guitar-playing kid, and you blew my mind. You guys blew me away. I was there going to see Kiss. I had no idea who Judas Priest was, and when I left, all I was talking about was Judas Priest. And your Flying V. Dude, when did you get into the Flying Vs, and what's your favorite one?
Yeah, I think the Flying V really, as soon as I had enough money, because it was a lot of money back in those days, in the early 70s. But and I had to trade in a beautiful 1961 SG Standard, which I loved as well, but I had to let it go in order to get the V. But as soon as I was able, I got a Flying V because I was thinking this is the way to go. Because they're rare. They were very, very rare in those days,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they made 500 in 58, 59, and they made, actually, the 1967 V, they made exactly 111 of them.
Oh, wow.
And that was the one I bought, so Flying V's in the world were very rare. But to me, it kind of, I could sense that shape was more befitting of like how I felt as a person and how I felt musically, and how I felt that I should look doing what I did musically. It's just a gut instinct feeling, you can't quite put your finger on it. And now obviously the V is very synonymous with obviously the genre of music of rock and metal. So I'm very proud to have been able to have that awareness, really. But as I said before, it was just a good thing. I'm thinking, I'm having it. It's so expensive. It was so expensive because it was rare,
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I used to put that on, and I'm thinking, by God, this is the bee's knees. This is really, and it made me feel like I had, 4 arms and 4 legs and 3 heads or something, So that's how that guitar made me feel.
Nice.
KK, with the 50th anniversary of Judas Priest, the band has accomplished so much over the years, especially with your time in the band. I go back to the 82 US Festival, and
watched that the other night.
A lot of great things that you guys did. What one thing, if there is one thing, stands out most for you in your time in Priest?
Well, guys, it really is all of it. Really, it was never bad. Even when it was bad, it was not bad. Kind of, when you kind of sleeping in the van on, and the roadside and stuff like that. It was all a part of the evolution of everything that is me, really. But there were pinnacle things that happened. I mean, the US Festival. I mean, how incredible was that?
Yeah.
And Live Aid in Philadelphia. How incredible was that? I mean, so many good things that happen. And when you play iconic places, I mean, whether it's Madison Square Gardens or the Royal Albert Hall in London, or the Budokan in Tokyo, where all of these famous people have been before. I mean, remember, I saw Hendrix twice at the Royal Albert Hall, in London, That's where I was. You know, I saw that way back then, and I saw Queen at the farewell concerts in '68. Was that the two concerts? I was there too. I was that kid